tell you a story, a real true life story, a tale of the western frontier. Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. He cleaned up the country, the old Wild West country. He made law and order prevail, and none can deny it. The legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail, and none can deny it. The legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
By golly, Marshal Earp, is that really you?
Digger Riley, you sure are a sight for sore eyes.
Well, what brings you back to Tombstone, Marshal? You're looking for somebody, ain't you?
It's a personal matter, Digger.
Would that somebody be above the ground or under it?
Both.
Well, Marshal, if you're looking for a body that you put in here, I reckon the one that gave you the most trouble was old man Clanton. 1814, 1880. That ornery old buzzard buried right over yonder.
It wasn't quite like that, Digger. I never shot Mr. Clanton. Matter of fact, the military and I tried to keep him from getting shot.
There was a time when the U.S. government wanted a truce with the Mexicans and our local ranchers, even if some of them were outlaws like the Clantons. But old man Clanton never trusted anyone, not even his own boys.
You see, Marshal, the War Department doesn't qualify my orders. I'm to stop both the Americans and the Mexicans from raiding each other across the border. Any way I can.
And with whatever force is necessary. I don't like it, Colonel.
Neither do I. The Army should not make war on civilians, even these outlaws and Mexican renegades. Have you a suggestion, Mr. Earp?
Well, old man Clanton is the key to the trouble around here.
Clanton will never agree to a truce until the Mexicans do. And if the Mexicans agree, the old man might just turn around and double-cross them. My advice to you, Colonel, is to take your soldiers and wipe them both out.
And Dr. Holliday is a cynic, Colonel. Would you mind if I kept these orders to show Mr. Clanton and the Mexicans?
Of course. Thank you, Marshal. Thank you.
Colonel?
What's all this got to do with me? Them Mexican bandits is the ones to blame, always coming up here stealing from us. Anyhow, I don't pay no attention to them blue-bellied Yankees in Washington.
Now, Colonel Warren's got 300 soldiers, and he can get plenty more.
You trying to scare me?
You already are. And Mr. Clanton agrees not to raid anymore if you promise the same thing. I must warn you that Colonel Warren is prepared to take to the field with as many soldiers as necessary. But neither of us wants a war to break out.
I accept your word.
And you realize that the border fighting must stop?
I trust you, and I trust Colonel Warren. But this Clanton, he I do not trust. Am I unreasonable in these?
No.
You see, your friend knows Senor Clanton.
I'm not asking you to trust the old man. I'm just asking you to say that you won't raid unless he does. Now, I must report whatever you say either way to Colonel Warren.
Es verdad, sí. Very well. I do not raid unless Clanton raids. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Gracias, Senor Earp.
Oh, more. Come over here. Now, the sum and substance of it is that we have, me and Ringo Ambrosius, have about 1,500 steers right about there, below the border. They have to be moved north pretty quick.
That don't sound too hard to me, boss. Who's riding with me?
Well, just two of us and half a dozen hands.
Not Ambrosius and Ringo and some of your men?
I paid Sheriff Bean to let you out of jail because you know how to take cattle through Guadalupe Canyon and back across the border. Now, this has to be done fast and strictly on the QT.
I don't get it, Mr. Clanton. Seems to me like you ought to tell Ringo.
Shut up! And listen. Now, the Army is in an uproar. about driving across the border. I had to promise Wyatt Earp that we'd quit if and them bandits did. What I don't aim to throw away a whole herd that already belongs to us.
Oh, well, now I see what you mean.
Now, the fewer knows about this, the better. I can't trust Ringo and Brocious on this drive. They want to go off killing Mexicans right and left like they did in Skeleton Canyon. Well, now, if you got no stomach for this drive, no matter, I'll just have B and put you back in jail.
Oh, no, Mr. Clanton. I'll make the drive.
All right. But you keep your mouth shut. Good and shut.
But Mort just couldn't keep his mouth shut. He sent a note explaining the raid to Johnny Ringo and Curly Brocious.
Well, I tell you why I don't like it. Because all we got to go on is a note. Now, what if Mort's lying about him and Clanton moving that herd?
More to be scared to lie to us.
Maybe. But even if it's true, we're taking a big risk, Curly. If word ever got around, we set up the old man.
What's he doing? We rustled them cattle he's after. You think when he gets them up here, he'll pay us a dime?
Well, he might.
Fat chance. Clanton's been cheating us for months. He's double-crossing us. I tell you, he's turned on me and you, Ringo. It's him or us. I aim for it to be us. I see it. You two come here. I want you to take a message to Don Pedro. I want you to take different trails, so you'll be sure to get through.
Si, senor.
Split this. Tell him that old man Clanton's taking a herd through Guadalupe Canyon. Tomorrow, at sundown. And no mistakes, you hear?
Guadalupe Canyon. Sí. Muy bien. Vente.
Let's head for Galeyville. Nina and Josie are waiting for us.
I don't know, Curly. Hope the old man changes his mind about the herd and don't go.
If he does, then nothing happens. That's right.
Marcia, you're not leaving until you settle those IOUs you gave me.
Hold it, Tin Horn. They got an errand to run for us. Let him go.
He owes me money and I want it. You must be joking, Curly.
Well, you're the joker. Hit the trail, pronto.
Sí. Vámonos.
It turned out that old man Clanton was more greedy than he was scared. He thought that the threat of all those troopers would scare off Don Pedro and his bandits so he could waltz right into old Mexico and grab a herd or two. But this time, it turned out that old man Clanton was too smart for his own good.
Mexicans! Earp was right. Well, no matter. We'll make a stand. Over there! You got us blocked off. You can't run, but you can fight. We'll finish this! Get him!
Pinned down. Cover me.
No! You make it!
Mr. Clanton put up a damn good fight. Doc Holliday and I got there too late.
Well, Marshal, if you ain't here on account of old man Clanton, how exactly can I help you?
I'm looking for a Miss Montgomery.
Hetty Montgomery, 1865, 1913. A real fine lady. She's right over here, Marshal. Here lies Hetty Montgomery. She shall remain dearly beloved and dearly missed. So, Marshal, what else can I tell you about Miss Hattie?
Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. When he came to Tombstone, to settle in Tombstone, he planned on a peaceable life.
You park it there, mister. You're under arrest.
For what?
For impersonating a legend. Wyatt Earp back in Tombstone. I'll be doggone. Wyatt, good to see you.
Sam, I see you're still keeping the town safe and law-abiding.
Mm-hmm. You still packing that hog leg Ned Buntline made up for you?
Sheriff, if I'm not mistaken, wearing a gun in Tombstone is still against the law. There's no law against having a traveling companion.
This is the Buntline special, huh? Yeah, by all accounts, this old gun saved your whiskers more than a couple of times.
Well, that part's sure true. It was a long time ago. 35 years. Back in those days, old man Clanton, he was the only one that could keep the young guns in Tombstone in line.
But after he died, it seems every hothead in the Clanton outfit wanted a piece of my hide.
110.
The Buntline kind of helped even the odds.
Well, looks like you didn't spend much, Mr. Clemens. You're lucky.
Sure. Real lucky. Spending my vacation in this hole.
Oh, it's not too bad. Food's pretty good.
Listen to me, Earp. You made a monkey out of me, and I'll be back. And I'm not coming alone, either. My brothers will be with me, and you'll wish you'd never seen me.
Clements, you made a monkey out of yourself. You didn't check your guns, and you had plenty of time to do it. Now, as for your brothers, I took care of Manning, and I'll be very happy to meet the rest of them.
I'll tell them.
Yeah, you do that. Now, here's your gun. But I don't want you to load it or put it on until you get in the outskirts of town.
You're throwing me out of town, huh?
That's right. When you cool off, you can come back in town if you want to. But remember to check that. Come here. Sign your receipt.
Like I said, I'll be back.
I'll be here. Clements. You slam that door and I'll throw you back in the cell.
That young Clements is going to turn out even worse than his brothers, if he lives long enough.
His pride's hurt, that's all. He'll get over it.
Marshal, there's a funny-looking dude over at the Wichita. Says he wants to see you.
A dude?
Yeah, and packing the biggest gun I ever saw. You ought to see the size of it.
Yeah, I guess I ought to. Sam, check those out for me, will you?
Yes, sir.
I'll be back in a little while.
Now, you ready to answer my questions?
All right. I'll answer all I can.
Well, now, how many men did he kill?
Who?
Well, who do you think? Wyatt Earp.
Oh, him. None? None as far as I know.
All right. None? Well, what kind of a frontier marshal is that?
I think I'd better let the marshal himself answer you on that one.
Are you Wyatt Earp?
Yes, sir.
Well, I've come a long way to meet you. My name is Buntline. Ned Buntline. You heard of me, of course.
I don't think I have, Mr. Buntline.
Oh, you must have. I write dime novels about the West. I've written hundreds of them. What's the matter, you people out here? Don't you read?
Well, I was just about to ask you the same question. Can you?
Well, Sir, you are addressing a man whose command of English is the envy of...
A simple no or yes will be sufficient, Mr. Buntline.
Well, of course I read, you idiot.
Then you're under arrest.
Under arrest? What for?
For that.
Huh? For what? Oh, I'm a little nearsighted. I can't see a thing. Oh. I beg your pardon, Marshal.
If you don't mind.
This isn't loaded.
Well, the law makes no distinction between loaded and unloaded guns, Mr. Buntline.
It isn't even mine. Just read the inscription on it.
What's this all about?
It's a gratuity, Mr. Earp. It's a small token of my admiration for you as the most stalwart of the... It's not true that you haven't killed anybody, is it? Oh, it doesn't make a difference. People will never believe that. They believe what I tell them to believe. Marshal, this is your lucky day.
Mr. Buntline, I think you've been drinking.
Well, of course I have. That's what saloon's for, isn't it?
Well, I think you better come along with me.
Well, I certainly will. That's what I've traveled 2,000 miles to do. I've undergone a great many inconveniences to make this trip. I came here for one purpose, and one purpose only.
Mr. Buntline, I still haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about.
Well, now, surely the thought of fabulous wealth, complete financial independence, surely that's a thought worth exploring, is it not?
Go ahead and explore it.
Smoke, gentlemen. They're specially made. Cost more than $1 each.
No, thanks.
Are the windows open? I'll take one.
Mr. Earp, have you ever heard of a man named William F. Cody?
Buffalo Bill? Sure.
Do you know who enabled him to earn 50,000 American dollars in less than 1 year's time? Know who? Me, Ned Buntline.
Figures.
And I can do the same thing for you. Now think of it. Your name up on the banners, just like Buffalo Bill's. Ned Buntline presents his Wild West show, featuring in person Wyatt Earp, the great frontier marshal. How does that sound to you?
It sounds ridiculous.
What? Oh, maybe I haven't made myself clear. All you'd have to do would be to...
All I'd have to do is stand up on a stage and make a fool of myself, get all dressed up in fancy clothes, and smile at 1,000 staring faces. Oh, you make yourself very clear.
Now, just a moment, Marshal. Don't... I warn you that...
I'm the one that does the warning around here. Now, you get out and stay out. Go on to back where you came from.
Well, you can't talk to me like that. I'm not...
Wyatt. You took the fella too serious. He was only trying to make you filthy rich.
And filthy is the word.
Sit down. I want to give you some advice. Oh, I know you never listen to any of it. But will you please sit down now? Please listen to me.
All right.
Wyatt, each man has to decide what he will do or won't do for money. But I hated to see you passing judgment on Buntline.
I didn't do that.
A plain no is enough.
Yeah. All right. I was wrong. I'll apologize to him.
Good. Oh, and another thing. He went to considerable trouble and expense to have this thing specially made for you. Now, the least you can do is try it out for him.
Maybe I will.
Good morning, gentlemen.
He's alive and talks.
Come on, let's go to town. We got things to do.
Now, wait a minute, kid. That'll keep. That's one thing you gotta learn. Never pass up fun when you find it. Life's too short.
What do you mean? What do you mean, fun? I don't think the marshal would like to see his friends mistreated.
The marshal, huh? You friend of the marshal?
Wyatt? Yeah. Well, I should say I am. He's practically a partner of mine. Now, I tell you, let's just forget this, and I won't say anything. I've got a sense of humor.
Well, it's a good thing you have. Yeah, you're gonna need it where you're going. You're coming with us.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not.
Shut up. You're coming with us.
Well, I guess I am.
Marshal, that Wild Clements kid is back here looking for you with one of his brothers.
Oh, they checked their guns?
No.
Where are they?
Sitting on their horses right up the street. And listen, Marshal, you know that noisy tenderfoot that was here yesterday? Buntline?
Yeah?
Well, he's with him.
You sure?
Positive.
That's close enough, Marshal.
Mr. Buntline, you're in bad company.
None of my choosing.
Shut up.
Earp, I told you I was coming back.
Chip, you surprised me. I figured you'd raise your kid brother to fight his own battles.
I did. I just come along to see it was a fair fight. That don't mean no shotgun against a 6-gun. It's gonna take some mighty fancy scattergun shooting to miss your dude friend here.
Hell, I've never had to kill anyone yet. I'd hate to have you be the first.
It's going to be you or me. You can make up your mind to that.
I'm sorry, boy.
Never mind being sorry. Just get rid of that shotgun. Then you and the kid can shoot it out alone with 6 guns.
What about you?
You know me better than that. I'm not butting in if it's a fair fight.
All right, Hal, you got yourself a shootout. I'll be right back.
He's yellow.
No, he ain't. He says he'll be back, he'll be back. You just better be fast today, kid.
Don't worry about it. I can beat him.
Yeah, I reckon you can at that. Matter of fact, I'd be willing to make a bet on it if I could find somebody to bet with.
Get off your horse.
You said something about a wager, Mr. Clements. I'd like to bet $100 on the marshal.
You get yourself a bet.
All right, hold it right there. I'll make you play.
You're crazy. You can't hit anything from there.
I can hit you. Now draw.
What's that?
That is a buntline special.
What now? Just forget it.
Sam, come on over here and break that up.
Well, you had your shootout, Hal. You're still alive. I'm glad.
You really are.
Yeah. I'll go on to the jail.
Yeah.
You're a mighty excitable little man, Mr. Buntline.
And you're a coward, Mr. Clements.
Hold it!
You talk about fair fights. You were going to use that rifle on the marshal.
Oh, it might have looked that way to you, but...
Are you staying in town? If you are, check your gun now.
No, I'm not staying.
Mr. Clements, you owe me money.
You're right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I wasn't going to use this rifle on the marshal.
Yes, well, I say you were.
Well, I say I wasn't.
Yeah. All right. You were. Gentlemen, the drinks are on me.
Excuse me?
Yes.
I'm looking for the editor.
I'm the editor. John Clum, at your service.
I'm looking for the obituaries for a lady who died last year.
Mr. Cox, could we have the obits from 1913, please? Marshal Wyatt Earp. I'll be.
Johnny, good to see you grew out of those short pants. How's your father?
Pop, retired. Can you believe it? He spends most of his time fishing in Montana. Mr. Cox, hurry up, please. Marshal, I will be right back.
Thank you, sir.
Clay, let me buy Jim a drink.
John, you look like you seen a ghost.
Oh, you're not wrong there, Clay. I have. You will never believe who is sitting in my office right now.
Teddy Roosevelt.
And all these Rough Riders.
Better. None other than U.S. Marshal Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt's back.
And he's looking for someone.
Why, the deacon's back in town. Well, that'll liven things up a bit.
You don't think he's looking to settle an old score?
No, it's a strange thing. He's looking for the obits for 1913, asking about a lady.
Well, ladies always did have a keen eye for the deacon. But in old Tombstone, the law and romance just didn't mix.
Where's this big man? Down Bristol, it's Earp!
Wyatt, are you hurt?
Miss Fabian, no, ma'am, I'm not hurt at all, thanks.
But he is. Did you shoot him?
Oh, no, ma'am, I just hit Mr. Driscoll over the head. A bit.
Oh, but he's bleeding.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sullivan, would you take Mr. Driscoll to jail, please?
But Wyatt, shouldn't he have a doctor?
And send for Doc McCarty.
I'm sorry, Mr. Earp.
Forget it. Miss Fabian, you don't belong here.
Oh, but I was afraid.
Like I've been trying to tell you for a week, it's a rough town. Mr. Driscoll was drunk, carrying guns in the street. They were loaded with real bullets.
All right. Once more, I'm sorry.
Will you promise me not to rush out of the hotel when you hear gunfire?
Why don't you come in and talk to me?
Well, I'd like nothing better, but I can't right now.
Why not?
Well, you see, Mr. Driscoll's a friend of Mr. Rakel, and they were drinking together, and I gotta go find Mr. Rakel before he cuts loose.
I didn't dream life in a little western town could be so simple-minded.
You get your father to tell you how simple-minded drunks and gunslingers can be.
No, you explain it to me. In half an hour?
I'll be back in 30 minutes.
I'll be waiting there.
That was the beginning of it. I knew it wasn't meant to be. Life in Tombstone was just too violent.
Help! That man is drunk! Don't let him kill me! You bet I'll kill... Stand aside, you tin-horn Johnny Law. I'm gonna teach this little runner.
You're under arrest, Mr. Rakel.
You can't arrest me, Earp. This town belongs to the Rakel and the Driscoll outfit.
Not anymore.
Why, Mr. Rakel? Oh, my old friend Judge Fabian. Judge, tell this young hoodlum
Lock him up.
Oh, one moment, Earp. I'm well acquainted with Mr. Rakel.
I'm sorry, Judge, but he pulled a gun on this man.
Oh, now, Mr. Rakel...
I said lock him up. I'm sure the judge doesn't want to argue this case in the street.
Anything I can do to help, Judge? Yes, Mr. Albright. Try to talk some sense into that young hothead. I'll take care of it right away, Your Honor.
Why, Papa? You look angry.
Oh, it's that young Marshal fellow, Earp. He had the cheek to arrest Bob Rakel.
Who's Mr. Rakel?
He and Toby Driscoll have the two largest cattle spreads anywhere. Both fine men. Fine men.
And they're both in jail.
What?
Wyatt arrested Mr. Driscoll about 10 minutes ago. He was drunk and shooting guns in the street.
Oh, no. Toby and Bob do $1 million worth of business in a year. Did I hear you call that fellow Wyatt?
I'm in love with him. I intend to marry Wyatt if he'll have me.
If he'll... I think we'd best talk about this later.
Let's talk about it right now.
Well, I've got to go to the jail.
Papa, Wyatt hasn't asked me, so don't blame him. Or at least, well, I do have some pride.
I've always been patient with you.
What are you doing in here?
Same as you, I reckon. But you'll never make this stick, Wyatt.
Look, you were drinking and shooting guns in the street, and that'll stick.
Oh, no, you don't, Earp. Turn them both loose. That's an order.
From who?
From Judge Fabian.
He hasn't heard the evidence yet.
Now, you wait a minute.
Get in there, too. I'll listen to you in court.
By that time, you won't be in any shape to listen.
But if you want to bring your men in, try it. Albright tried it. He offered Clay Allison $1,000 to gun me. You know, the trouble with you big pistols is you turn into pop guns every time a fight's offered. Well, you'll have to stay here and watch him. But you better get some cotton to plug your ears.
I'm Toby Driscoll's foreman.
Oh, yeah, you're the big Rance, aren't you?
Wyatt Earp threw both Driscoll and Rakel in jail.
Threw them both in jail for what?
Getting a little drunk. Us Driscolls aim to go after Earp. How about you?
Well, I don't know. He's pretty fast on the draw.
Gunning's too good for him. We got other plans.
Come on, boys. Let's ride.
They, came to see you on a personal matter.
Look, sir, if it's about Driscoll and the...
No. I will find them in court tomorrow morning.
Well, thank you, sir. You see, it's sort of a test case. We can't afford to treat the cattle owners any different than the hired hands. You see...
Quite so. My daughter tells me that she's been seeing you, socially.
Yes, sir.
You in love with Sally?
Well, sir, I hope not. But I'm afraid I am.
Why do you say you hope not?
Well, sir, for the same reason you came here. We both know what kind of a life a peace officer lives, what can happen to him.
I don't think she realizes just how violent and brutal life on the frontier can be.
Well, sir, that's why I haven't,
asked her to marry you?
Yes, sir.
Well, I hope you'll give yourself time to do some more thinking about it. I can't pretend that Sally would follow my wishes. She's like her mother, who insisted that we move west after the war. This country demanded more of my wife than her health could stand. I blame myself. That's why I... Well, thank you for hearing me out.
Yes, sir.
So dreadful you can't tell me. What did my father say to you?
Just what every father would say. He was really very nice about it. What he had to say made sense.
Wyatt, my father's prejudiced against this country for women on account of my mother.
I know. He doesn't want you to marry a man in my line of work.
Well, that's it. He's afraid I couldn't face up against the daily fear of your being hurt. I'm a coward. I don't want to think about it. You are in love with me.
Yes, I am. But it can't come true. Not right now.
Why not?
Because of what you are, Sally, and what I am. You can't just marry.
Why didn't you shoot back?
He was aiming high. He was just trying to warn me.
I think I would have shot back. You see, I really am quite tough.
No, you're not.
Wyatt, did I faint? Am I crying?
We haven't seen a man get hit with a .45 slug yet.
I saw you hit Mr. Driscoll with a gun.
Well, you do have courage, Sally.
More courage than you. I'd marry you tomorrow. Say yes, Wyatt. Accept the proposal of this bold, bad woman who loves you so.
Sally, I love you so much that
Then it's settled. I'm going to be Mrs. Wyatt Earp.
Judge finds us each $100. 300. Count it.
Sorry, Mr. Driscoll. I trust you when you're sober.
Thanks.
One other piece of business, Earp. One of our boys are waiting outside. They're not packing guns.
Yeah, I noticed that through the window.
My foreman, Mr. Rance, would like to have a talk with you. That is, if you'll take off your guns and keep your deputies from interrupting the conversation.
I tell you, Mr. Driscoll, I've already issued the necessary orders. I just hope you gentlemen have picked out a nice ringside section.
We're going to enjoy every second you last.
Your name, Rance?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Throw some water on it. You can take more of a beating than this.
No, Wyatt, please. You've whipped him.
Stay
Get
back,
out.
Sally. Keep her back. He's had all he can take. All right. Anybody else want some?
Yeah, I do. The Driscolls can't whoop you. Us Rakels can.
No, Wyatt, don't fight anymore.
She's right. You're tired. Look, I either run this town or I don't. Come on, get up!
Should have gone back to the hotel.
You didn't have to fight that other man. It was brutal.
And then a brutal business. I told you that. Now you know.
Yes. Now I know.
One thing about old Wyatt, he stood up for what he believed. He never complained.
What the city pay him back then? $15 a week?
More like 10.
Welcome back to the Crystal Palace, Marshal.
Mr. Reardon, Mr. Kelly, good to see you. You gentlemen know of a young man by the name of Zachariah Montgomery?
Oh, Eddie's boy. Oh, he's in real trouble.
After his ma died last year, he started running around with a couple of lowlifes.
Without family, Zach's sure to come down on the wrong side of the law.
Sorry to hear that. Family makes a big difference, I know. Weren't for my two brothers that I cashed in my chips a long time ago.
Virgil still with us?
No. No, he and Morgan are long gone.
I seem to recall Virgil and Morgan helped you through some trouble with John Behan.
Well, they sure did. The Clantons played a big role in that, too.
Well, good morning, Mr. Mayor.
On Wyatt.
It was just before the shootout at the OK Corral, the time my old friend Doc Holliday almost prodded Virgil and Morgan over the line.
Well, you can't be that thirsty. What's wrong?
Well, town council had a meeting last night, Wyatt.
And?
And they seem to feel you need more deputies. Doc Holliday's only one man, good as he is. Well, I told him you were probably already looking around for some help.
Yes, sir, I am. I sent telegrams to Bat Masterson, but I haven't had any word yet.
Wyatt, how about your brothers over in Prescott? I mean, why don't you ask Morgan to come back here and get Virgil to help you?
I can't do that, Mr. Mayor. They wouldn't just be taking on the job of deputy. Well, having the name of Earp, they'd inherit all of my enemies, too.
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't mind that. Well, they'd be here quick enough if they knew what the real situation was.
Well, I'm glad they don't.
Wyatt, this is an emergency. I think you're too optimistic about the Clanton gang. I don't think just because the old man got killed that it follows the gang's going to break up.
I never said they would. No, I know there's going to be a bitter fight as to who the new leaders are going to be.
Well, we hear tell that Brocious and Ringo have already taken over.
Yeah, Doc Holliday's got the same information, too. But the McLaurys haven't made their move yet. And I think it's going to take a little while for both sides to reorganize.
Well, maybe. Maybe not. Wyatt, would you take it badly if I were to ask your brothers to come and help?
Well, I wish you'd wait a few days.
We've held off too long now, Wyatt. All right. The council voted to make Virgil chief of city police. Morgan is his assistant. You see, Wyatt's always being required to go out of town because he's a deputy U.S. Marshal.
Does that still leave Wyatt the Chief John Law?
Oh, of course, Doc, of course.
All right, I'll go over to Prescott and see if Virgil and Morgan will take the job.
Good. Now, as to salary...
Well, that's unimportant. They'll come when they know that Wyatt needs help. By the way, I think it'd be wiser if you told Wyatt that I went over to Tucson. Big poker game.
All right, Doc. When you plan on going?
This evening.
Good evening, Marshal Earp.
Hello, Johnny. Where you heading?
Oh, I have an engagement with Miss Marlins.
Isn't it a little early? Her show's not over yet.
No, I'm presenting these flowers to Miss Marlin at the final curtain, and I'm escorting her to a late supper.
Isn't that nice? It's too bad about her.
What do you mean?
I mean, a whole town full of bachelors, and she goes out with you. Some women have no taste in men.
Miss Marlin, do you think I'm just a poor country sheriff?
Poor? I never ask a man how much money he has, Mr. Behan.
You know, my salary with fees is about $40,000 a year.
That's a lot.
And I collect all the taxes in Cochise County. My share of court costs and fees is around $10,000.
You are rich.
And I'm just getting started politically. You see, I'm trusted and supported by Clanton and these people. They like me in Tucson. As a matter of fact, I might even get to be governor of the territory one day. You know, telling you things like this isn't very romantic, but I believe that a woman who's used to luxuries shouldn't sacrifice them. And believe me, Miss Marlin, you won't have to.
It's very flattering, Mr. Behan.
And you're not angry?
Of course not, but we must be going.
Miss Marlin, You will see me again?
I'll give it serious thought, Mr. Bean.
I hope you know what you're doing, Doc. Doc explained the whole idea, Verge. I know. Wyatt isn't going to like this. Kidnapping a sheriff. Why don't we forget the whole thing and head on back to Tombstone?
Suit yourself, Virgil. I'm staying with Doc. Explain it to him again. Unless we start trouble inside the Clanton outfit, your brother's going to lose.
Wyatt may be killed. Doc's right, Verge. I may be at that. All right, let's give it a try anyway.
I had supper last night with your sheriff. It was a most revealing conversation. It might have been the champagne or the fact that he felt he should impress me, but I don't think an officer of the law should brag about his friendship with lawless men. Did you happen to know about his connection with the Clantons, for instance?
Well, even the voters know about it. They don't seem to care. But it's my job to know, and it's my job to try and clean up Arizona. Sheriff Bean chose the other side.
I got your message, Breckenridge. What's the trouble?
Sheriff Bean's disappeared. Ike Clanton says Ringo and Brocious took him.
Now, why would they do that?
I don't know, Marshal, but this could cause big trouble. Now, you're an officer of the law. It's up to you to find him.
You're Bean's chief deputy. You go find him yourself.
I'm just his office man.
You mean you're scared of the Clantons? Well, don't bother me with it. I couldn't care less what happens to Johnny Bean.
Slowpoke. Now you go down there and tell him to turn Johnny Bean loose. Us Clantons ain't as scared of Brocious and Ringo. McLaury's take care of them any day.
Hold it, Ike. Take their guns. You townspeople, get those men over to Dr. Goodfellow.
Self-defense, Earp.
I still want to talk to you. Come on.
You're wasting time, Earp. They might have killed Bean by now.
What makes you think that Brocious and Ringo took him?
Well, he's missing, ain't he? And I ain't got him, so it has to be them. Besides, Doc Holliday told me.
Doc, where'd you see him?
Saw him at Ayers Roadhouse at Charleston this afternoon. Well, do you think I'm lying?
Probably. Did Doc tell you why they kidnapped Bean?
Yeah, he told me. Said Johnny owed him $5,000. Now, listen, I know that Brocious and Ringo would like to take over and boss this outfit. And they'd like to get Johnny Bean on their side, too. Well, you just wait till them big boys down in Tucson hear about this. They'll turn Johnny loose fast enough.
Can't you ever keep your big mouth shut?
And Tom and Frank McLaury's on our side, too.
I don't care who's on what side. Now, here's your gun back. I'm releasing your hired hands, too. Now, you go ahead and shoot it out if you want to. Get yourself killed. But you don't do it in Tombstone, you understand?
Doc. Silence. Our sheriff speaks. Go ahead, Johnny.
This is a fool play you're making, and you know it, Doc. There's 100 men looking for me right now.
Sheriff Bean is important.
You'll all go to prison. You can't kidnap an officer of the law.
It's your word against ours, Sheriff. Save your breath, Morgan.
Let's call it off, Doc. I don't like it.
No, Virgil. The scheme is working just fine.
Well, then, let's move deeper into the mountains. Good trackers can find us here.
I'll be back by noon. Then we'll move.
You're under arrest. Now, what you've really done is worse than kidnapping Bean. You'd stop and use your head for a minute, you'd realize that Brocious, Ringo, and the McLaurys aren't going to fight each other, even for Bean. They're all equally fast with a gun, and they'd all be dead.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing if they'd fight, but they won't. They just send a bunch of hot-tempered young cowboys into Tombstone. The vigilantes are amateurs, but they try and stop the fight. And those are the ones who would get killed, not the big men that you're after. Well, I've said all I'm going to say. Now, where are my brothers and Bean?
I don't think I'll tell you.
All right, then you and I are finished. But you're still acting a fool. You came down that trail. I can go up it.
Hold it, Wyatt. No one's ever talked to me the way you just talked. I'm angry. I think we should settle this right now.
Doc, I'm not going to draw on you. You can shoot me in the back.
Wyatt? Going up that trail isn't going to do you any good. There's a switchback up there with fool even you. Just follow me.
Better be. I got 3 cartridges left.
You're safe now, BN.
Wyatt, welcome.
Boy, are we glad to see you.
They kidnapped me, Earp.
I know they did. Virgil, Morgan, Doc, you're under arrest.
Under arrest?
We're your brothers, remember?
I'm aware of that. Untie his feet.
Doc took my coat and I want it back.
Why, certainly, Honorable Sheriff. I went through the pockets last night.
Move out, Johnny. There's another fight starting over you and Tombstone, and I want to stop it.
Hi, Clanton! Well, they ain't waiting for Ringo and Brocious. All right, we ain't either. I'm running this show now. It's time we stepped in. All right, anytime.
Hold it! Mayor, this time I order you men to rock up your guns or get out of town.
Who's gonna stop us, Clum? You? Come on, boys. Let's clean up these vigilantes.
All right, Clanton, you get your men out of town.
Marshal, if you're looking for Zach, you'll find him with Snake Reynolds and Bad Jack Dupree. They're mean, they're stupid, they're not welcome in this town. You'll find them out at Shefflin Rock, drinking booze and raising hell.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Sam, you think the marshal will come between Zach and them polecats?
If anybody can do it, the deacon can.
I'll bet he'll play it the way he and Doc Holliday did against the Clantons all those years ago. First he got in between them, and then he turned the Clantons against Johnny Ringo's bunch.
Howdy, Wyatt. Howdy, Paul. Doc, check this leg, would you?
Right.
We came as soon as Wells Fargo notified us. When they jumped you?
About an hour ago. They killed the driver and the passenger.
Put the bodies inside. Any idea who did it?
The Clantons.
You recognize anybody?
Yeah. Bill Leonard, Jim Crane, and Harry Head. I think Luther King stayed in the brush.
What? They didn't get all the bullion. Here's another box.
They got away with the 2 boxes up in the boot. They didn't know about the one inside.
We'll count it later. Doc, any idea who might have bossed this?
Doesn't matter. Luther King is the one we're after. He's got a ranch near Contention.
King the Squealer? Yes, he is, and we'll go get him. Wait! You boys take him back to town.
All I did was hold the horses. I didn't shoot. The others done the shooting. Who planned for you to heist that stage? Brocious and Ringo?
The Clanton boys and the McLowrys were not in on it?
No, they wasn't. Doc, you and Virgil come with me. You handcuff him and put him on his horse. All right, then we're agreed. Doc, you talk to Brocious and Ringo. Virgil and I'll see the Clanton boys.
Just tell Ike that Brocious and Ringo collected the entire $80,000 from the holdup.
We're gonna let him know we caught Luther King?
No, we'll sneak him into town after dark. Keep him in a hotel room under guard.
Brilliant, Deacon. Brilliant. Keep all the boys guessing.
Yeah, that'll increase the pressure, huh, Virg? I'll go tell Mort.
Wyatt's toughening up. At last.
It's a good idea to stir up some trouble in the Clanton outfit. It's just one catch.
Catch?
We could get caught in the middle.
That's the risk we have to take.
They murdered one of the passengers and the driver and shot Bob Paul. Real botched up job. Typical Brocious Ringo operation.
How much they get?
$80,000 in bullion? Wells Fargo's kind of mad about it.
$80,000. Well, how do you like that? Looks like Ringo and Brocious have pulled another freeze out on us. Seems like that ever since Papa died, Ringo and Brocious have got so big-headed to think they can pull anything.
We're wasting our time, Wyatt. Let's get back on the trail.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
They don't amount to much in the outfit anymore.
Well, just a minute. You
Kind
don't...
of sad, isn't it? When your old man was alive, he used to take his 75% cut. I guess family courage is kind of running out.
Boy, thank you. Billy, that's all right. Take it easy. He might just be doing us a favor. Ringo and Brocious wouldn't dare hold out on us. Now just hold your temper, Billy. He called me a coward. Well, never mind. We'll just have to have a little talk with the McLowrys.
What for?
Well, now, Billy, you don't want everything that Papa's built up taken away from us, do you? Lying John Law talk. Yeah, well, what if it ain't? Well, then we'll just fix Ringo and Brocious. Me and the McLowrys can take them. Now you're talking straight, Billy. Now you're talking straight.
Well, what are we going to say to Doc? Nothing. Let Doc say it. He sent for us.
Business must be good. First time I ever saw you boys dressed up better than your horses.
That's Ringo's idea.
Well, I figure a big outfit like ours ought to look important. You called us here to talk about clothes, Doc? Nope. I kind of like Bill Leonard. Wyatt's after him for that stage heist.
Oh? He is?
Him and the others could have done a neater job. You know, they killed the driver and one of the passengers. That's a murder charge. And they winged Bob Paul, who recognized him. And the worst of it is there was $80,000 on that stage, and they only got a fourth of it. I ran into some of your friends up at Galeyville. They was all head up.
Who?
You know I don't mention names.
You trying to warn us about something, Doc?
To be precise, I've heard some ugly talk that you and Brocious haven't been playing fair with the Clanton boys and the McLowrys. That could start some serious trouble in the outfit.
Who'd start anything with Ringo and me? Let Doc have his say.
Thank you, Ringo. I'll summarize. The last thing I want is fighting. I lose good customers that way. So I warn you, I don't like your attitude toward the Clantons. It's no good. There's always somebody ready to squeal about a job, to get even because you left the Clantons out of it.
Squeal on us?
Nobody dare.
That's right. The whole outfit would turn on a squealer. You know that, Doc.
All right. I've given you a friendly warning. You boys aren't acting too smart these days.
How's that for go? We ain't smart enough to suit Doc.
There's more to it.
What, for instance?
Ike Clanton and the McLowrys are sore at us about that stage heist.
But they won't squeal to the law, Ringo.
Maybe not. But just the same, we'll watch.
working?
Printed writing, no signature. The OK Corral, they could be setting you up,
No,
Wyatt.
I'm sure it's for Mike.
You better take Morgan and me with you.
Hey, just clam up if you came along. I'll talk to him alone. Sheriff Behan.
Behan, what's he done now?
He found out where we stashed Luther King, got rid of habeas corpus, turned him loose.
So only witness against Ringo and Brocious. I better go after King.
No, he's got too much of a head start. Probably wouldn't testify against him anyway. Our best bet now is Ike Clanton.
Over here. Are you sure that nobody saw you?
I patrol here all the time. People will think it's just routine.
Well, I talked to Frank and Tom McClowery.
Oh?
Well, they don't exactly believe that Ringo and Brocious are working around us.
All right, forget it.
No, I mean, they believe the same as you do, that the only way to prove that would be to catch those men, and they might talk.
You any idea where I can find them?
Oh, yeah, not exactly.
When you find out, you let me know.
Oh, wait, there's one other little thing. I heard that Wells Fargo was offering $2,000 apiece for those men. All right? Would I get that reward?
Well, certainly. You can pay me, and I'll give it to you in cash. I'll put that in writing.
Oh, no, I take your word for it. Well, you'll hear from me tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Stand out. Ike's message said noon sharp. You go in the front, and I'll duck around the back.
Make him come to the point fast. Ringo and Brocious had spies at Charleston, you know.
If Ike is at the bar, you talk to him for a while. Everybody knows you're trying to speak in terms of the Clantons.
I'll cover you, Wyatt. Then Ike can drift to the back room, right?
Right.
Listen, Wyatt, I got two conditions to this deal.
Name them.
Well, the first is I want you to promise that nobody knows nothing about this whole thing.
I promise.
And the other thing is, suppose you don't get them both alive. Do I still get the reward?
Well, I have to telegraph Wells Fargo about that.
Well, how long will that take?
A couple hours.
Yeah, will you send Doc Holliday with the answer? I'll be over at the Oriental. You know, I'm taking a big chance on this. If Ringo and Brocious ever find out about it, they'll have the whole bunch after me.
I'll send the telegram. Howdy, Mr. Smith.
Coming in now, Marshal. Don't reckon there's any answer.
No. Thank you, Mr. Smith.
You can scrub behind the counter now. I'll go fetch the coffee.
Yes, sir.
Hey, kid, in here.
Earp got a telegram. Earp got a telegram from Wells Fargo that they paid the reward, dead or alive. Somebody talked.
Did you find out who?
No, but it sure looks funny, Mr. Brocious. I saw Ike Clanton talking to Doc Holliday at the Oriental.
We gotta get out to Lost Ogie Camp before Earp does. Let's hit leather. Get out of the way.
He spilled it, and I think he's telling the truth. Mike says that some of our men are holed up in Lost Ogie Canyon. That's on the Bisbee Trail. He also says that one of them has some buckshot in him.
Now, Paul says he hit one. We can get there by tomorrow sunup if we hustle. Looks good.
Coming. Now you men grab leather and head for Mexico. Get out of here. Don't stop.
We better get out of here.
We can't. We gotta stall Earp long enough for them men to get away.
Lost Ogie Canyon.
Looks fishy to me.
Ike Clanton always was a liar.
Hold your fire. They're shooting high. Throw down your guns. We're coming in.
Who tipped you off we were coming here?
You want to make a deal, Marshal?
Name it.
Well, you tell us who squealed about this hideout, and I'll tell you.
That ain't a fair shake.
Shut up, I'm talking. Now, is it a deal, Marshal?
No deal. If I did have any informers, I wouldn't set them up for you.
Well, you're not going to save anybody up. We already know who done it.
Ringo's just killing time, Wyatt. Yeah, the men we want are heading south. Hope we stand here and jabber.
Try and catch him, why don't you?
We'll do just that, Curly. Go get the horses. This time, if there's any squealing, it'll be done in court.
You real sure Ike's the one who turned on us?
No, but I'm going to get the truth out of him. And I want to tackle him alone.
Yeah, he's more scared of you. I can't eat anything. Oh, I sure do wish Papa were here.
Man can't digest his food with you moaning like a coyote, Ike. Come and eat.
I ain't hungry. It's Ringo and Brocious. Well, Ringo's the only one getting off his horse. You think maybe they come out here to give us our cut of the money?
Shut up and keep shut. I'll do the talking.
Yeah, all right, Frank. Hello, Johnny.
Well, what do we got here? A meeting of honest ranchers?
Not all, Ringo. Tom and I just dropped in.
Lots of grub left. Grab a chair.
Yeah, I'll go out and get Brocious. Tell him to lie down. Come on in.
No, we ain't got time, Ike. The Earps hit Lost Ogie Canyon at sunup.
Well, they did?
Yeah, but they didn't get what they come after. Me and Brocious stalled them with a few questions.
Get any answers?
One answer. It was kind of funny.
Yeah?
Seems Earp says that Ike is the one who tipped him about our boys being holed up at Lost Ogie. Ain't that a laugh?
Yeah, well, why would I tell him that?
He said you also said they were the ones who held up the stage.
Oh, Earp's a dirty liar. Oh, now, Johnny, you don't believe Earp.
Well, now, where's your sense of humor, Ike? I said I thought it was funny, didn't I?
Ringo's always talking humorous.
He better be.
We don't like jokes.
Tom. Now, Frank, now, let's don't get sore now. Now, Johnny, tell him you don't believe Earp.
You don't think I'd listen to no John Law now, do you? Frank, Tom, I just thought you'd enjoy a little joke, that's all. I guess my joke must have missed. Well, I wish I could visit with you longer, but I got some business in Charleston. So long.
So long, Johnny.
Yeah. Goodbye, Ike.
You reckon Brocious and Ringo believe Earp?
Yes, they do.
Well, you know what that means. Well, I'll tell you, it means that they're going to turn the whole bunch against me, and maybe against you, too, just because they don't want to give us our cut of that money. And then you know what they'll do? They'll kill every one of us right in the back, one by one. Now, look, Frank, now how can I square this?
That's easy. Kill the Earps.
Kill what?
That's right. If you don't, Ringo and Brocious will kill you.
Oh, you're just talking, Frank.
No. He ain't just talking.
Yeah, that's right. You gun the Earps. And then that'll prove that I didn't have any dealings with anybody. And then Ringo and Brocious, they'll have to believe me.
Hold it, Earp. I can hold it.
Dirty double-crossing snake. You told Ringo and Brocious, didn't you?
Go on to bed, Ike. You're drunk.
Yeah, I'm drunk, but I'll be sober tomorrow. You know where you'll be, you and all your brothers? You'll be dead. You better start praying. All you Earps will be dead tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day!
Come on, Bad Jack! Woo-hoo. You gotta move it out quicker now, Zach.
Ah, step aside, Jack. Hey, let me show you how a real gunslinger throws lead.
Excuse me. Excuse me, gentlemen.
You're in your wrong place, old man.
I was hoping to have a little talk with Mr. Montgomery here.
Oh, his name is Zach. What you want with him?
First, I want to teach him a few manners.
He's with us. He don't need no manners.
Second, I want to teach him to stay away from boozers like you two.
Oh. Yeah. Now, Grandpa, you just crossed the wrong side street.
I seen that gun before.
Well, gun's a gun, kid.
No, that's Wyatt Earp's gun. Must be Wyatt Earp.
You Wyatt Earp. You go ahead and shoot him, Snake.
Huh?
You just go ahead.
Well, I ain't gonna shoot him. You shoot him.
Come on, make up your mind. Now, one of you's got to shoot me. Which one is it going to be, huh? You, Mr. Snake? Now, gentlemen, I think it's time that you moved on. Keep on moving till you cross the border.
Oh. I told you he was Wyatt Earp. Well, why didn't you shoot him?
They said you were the fastest gun in Tombstone.
It's not about shooting fast, Mr. Montgomery. It's about shooting straight.
Yeah, I bet you could have taken down those two fellas easy, huh?
Well, when I was the law of Tombstone, taken down was the last solution to any problem.
Hey,
Frank Clanton's back in town this morning. He's cold sober. He's still making fight talk. He says the McLaury's and several other guns are on their way into town.
Where's Doc? Still asleep at the hotel?
Let him sleep.
We're not going to fight?
Not if we can cool things down. Now, there's some coffee over there if you want it.
I think it's a good idea to try to cool things down. How?
Ike knows that Ringo and Brocious suspect him of squealing for the reward in that stage holdup. He's got to pick a fight with you. It's the only way he can square himself.
That's just the point, Morg.
What is?
Men picking a fight usually talk a lot, drink a lot, working themselves up to it. And while they do, we may have a chance to arrest them, disarm them, one by one.
Our best bet?
Fast guns like Tom and Frank McLaury?
Morg, we're not exactly easy marks ourselves. Oh, I think the McLaurys will take a few minutes to decide. Maybe even an hour.
Wyatt's right. If we can play for time, they might cool off.
All right, now you just hold on there. Wyatt, the vigilantes are going to take care of this.
Thanks, but no thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Now, you can't fight 24 gunslingers. I've got 35 men armed and ready to go.
We're not aiming to fight, John.
You're not?
They might think better of it.
Think? Why, man, Ike Clanton is standing down there at 4th and Allen armed with a rifle and 2 45s. He says he's going to shoot the Earps on sight, and what's more, I believe him.
Ike alone?
Right now he is. The others must be on their way.
Virgil, you and Morgan go on over and arrest him. Disarm and take him over to the city court.
Now, wait a minute. Wyatt, this is suicide. You and your brothers can't handle this alone.
Mr. Mayor, the only suicide for a John Law is when he lets the vigilantes do his duty for him.
24 armed outlaws?
Won't be that many. 6 or 8 at the most. Now, you keep your men out of sight. How long do you think my brothers and I could hold this town if word got out that we were hiding behind the vigilantes?
Wyatt, will you listen to me?
No, you listen to me. You hired us to do a job, now let us do it.
Doc, good fella. You seen the Earps?
Not this morning.
Yeah, well, I guess they're hiding out. Or maybe they run out. They can't hide out or run far enough. I promised them they'd all be dead today, and I'm in it.
I'm sure the 3 of them are big enough to take care of themselves. And I can't waste time here like this. Good day.
Doc, you don't believe me, do you? Well, you'll see. You'll see.
Good day, Ike.
Looking for the Earps?
That's all we have, huh? Better order 25 more bales.
Morning, John.
Howdy, boys. Well, I guess Ike wasn't just talking, was he? We're gonna get the Earps. All right, but don't do any shooting here. I own this place. Move over to the OK Corral, will you?
What are you scared of, Johnny?
He's right, Tom. Wouldn't look good to set up in the sheriff's own property. We'll move.
Thanks, boys.
Be $25 in cost, Mr. Clanton. Well, you're the city's chief of police, Mr. Earp. I think you'd better keep these guns until Mr. Clanton leaves town.
Yes, sir.
You can keep the change. I'll get you for this, Earp. I'll get all of it for it. I'd do it right here and now if I had my guns.
You talk too much for a fighting man, Ike.
You want to scrap, Ike? Take this. I'll use my fists.
Morgan. 5 of Ike's army just rode into the OK Corral.
Only 5? Shouldn't we disarm them?
No, we'll just wait until they scatter.
Well, that won't do you any good, you double-crossing squealer.
You keep him here until he cools down. I gotta go find Johnny Bean. You looking for trouble? I didn't see you, McLaury. You're a liar. You're wearing a gun, go for it.
While outlaws were looting and killing and shooting, he knew that he must make a stand.
This is the place where Virgil, Morgan, Doc, and I faced off against the Clantons and the McLaurys.
What's all this have to do with me?
Mr. Montgomery, there's something that you need to know. About a month ago, a lawyer sent me a letter that your mother had written just before she died. The man that stood beside me that day, my brother Virgil, he was your father.
Virgil Earp was my father?
Your mother never told him. Virgil never knew that you were his son. Your father was the kind of a man that you could be proud of. He was willing to live or die by what he believed in.
Morning, Earp.
Hello, Johnny.
I couldn't talk him out of it.
Did you try?
Look, Earp, you don't like me and I don't like you. You and your brothers wear stars. I told Frank McLaury it was plain dumb to try a shootout with the John Law, and especially you Earps.
What'd Frank say?
Nothing. But you and I know how he's thinking.
How's that?
This is no time to play innocent. Everybody thinks Ike squealed on some pals to you, and you told Ringo and Brocious about the deal.
I didn't tell how I found out where those men were hiding. And I didn't tell anybody that Ike made a deal with me.
No difference. Ike's got to risk a shootout with you Earps, or get shot in the back by Brocious and Ringo.
Look, I told Ike, and I'm willing to tell the McLaurys and anybody else that I don't know who it was that told Brocious and Ringo. It wasn't me.
They won't believe you, Earp, because they can stop the rumor by proving they hate your insides. I've got to get back to the office.
Not so fast, Johnny. Does he know that armed men are waiting at the OK Corral to gun us?
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about it.
You're the sheriff of Cochise County. I'm calling on you to go with me and arrest that bunch.
That's your job, not mine. You're city police, I'm county. Right now, they're in the city.
What are we waiting for?
I think we better move on them, Wyatt.
Plenty of time. They can still change their minds.
He knows we're going to have to shoot to kill him.
That's trouble.
Spangenberg's. Must be buying new guns.
Looks like it.
Wyatt, you better let the vigilante handle this.
Thanks for the offer, Mr. Mayor, but it wouldn't work.
Look, Wyatt, we're all armed. We can surround the OK Corral and disarm the outlaws.
The McLaurys have got a lot of friends. They just ride into town, there'd be killings on every street.
They made me bring you a couple of messages, Wyatt.
All right, let's have them.
Well, Frank and Ike said if you don't come to the corral and fight it out, they'll pick you off in the street.
What's the other message, Mr. Coleman?
They told me to tell you, if you'd leave town, they won't harm your brothers.
Well...
No, you don't.
Let's get it over with.
All right.
Wyatt, will you listen to reason, man?
I told you it was our job.
Wyatt!
Doc, will you try to talk some sense into them?
Talk? I'm going with them. The time for talking is past.
That's right, Doc.
I misjudged Ike Clanton once today. I'm not doing that again.
None of us are, sir. But we may need you alive. Men are gonna get hurt. Doctoring is your business. You let us do the fighting. Now let me have that gun.
Well, all right.
Wait a minute. Where you going?
Down the street to make a fight.
I'll go along with you.
This is our trouble. You stay out of it.
It's the wrong thing to say to me.
I know, Doc, but this is going to be a tough one.
It's the kind I like.
All right.
There, Doc, you took this. Don't look too steady this morning. Buckshot was able to hit more.
I'm steadier than any of you. I had whiskey for breakfast. Who we fighting?
The McLaurys, Mike and Billy Clanton, Billy Claiborne.
Good. Where's it to be?
Okay, Corral.
It's all right, boys. I disarmed him.
You arrest him?
No, but I will.
Then come on.
Don't go any further. Earp, I order you not to go any further. I'm the sheriff, and I'll do the arresting.
You said that was Virgil's job.
Earp, don't go in that corral. You're going to get killed.
Well, they're coming.
How many?
Well, it's Doc Holliday and the Earps.
All right. Spread out.
You men are under arrest. Drop your hands. Why, you... hold it. We don't want that.
Commence. Now start shooting or get out.
You're going with me, Doc.
Today.
Holmesburg, he's had enough.
Drop him, Wyatt.
Why'd you let Ike get away?
He wouldn't draw.
This star was Virgil's proudest possession. He would have wanted you to have it. Two kinds of people live in this world, son. Those who stand behind the law and those who stand against it. time you made up your mind which side you want to be on?
Never knew my pa was.
Well, now you do. You have families, Zach. People who care about what happens to you. If ever you need me, I won't be hard to find. Think about it.
And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. Wyatt Earp, Wyatt Earp, brave, courageous, and bold. Long live his fame, and long live his glory, and long may his story be told. None can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail. And none can deny it, the legend of Wyatt forever will live on the trail.
I hope you enjoyed that. We sure had a great time in Tombstone. We shot it very quickly, and our team let me mention some great names. Of course, Kate Edelman's dad, who created the original series with Hugh O'Brien. Kate was our associate producer on this. We couldn't have done it without her, or executive producers Jody Shapiro, Stan Rutledge, producers and pals Phil May and Joseph Shields and Mark Webb, and our colorization art director was Bill Schaefer. He did a magnificent job blending this together. The streets were asphalt by now when we shot our film, but since our movie was set at the turn of the century, we made them brown in our colorization process to look like dirt, and it worked. I hope you enjoyed this. Now, the reason that CBS didn't go for any more Wyatt Earp movies than we thought, because our ratings were so good, they'd say, we want more. We were ready with another one. And it was Wyatt's Women, using in the flashbacks some of the same actresses who had been in the original series. Angie Dickinson, Marie Windsor, Peggy Stewart, and Jan Shepard. That would have been great. Even the great Morgan Woodward as Shotgun Gibbs returning for that featurization. But it didn't happen, and here's why. CBS said that the Kevin Costner movie failed at the box office and people were tired of Wyatt Earp. They didn't want to know anything else. I think they were wrong, and I said, well, you know, the audience for CBS is 50 plus, and that's our audience. They love Westerns. But it was not to be, which is a shame. I think we could have done a great job and had a lot more fun. But I do hope you had fun with us today, and we will see you next time on either A Word on Westerns or Words Way Back. Thanks for watching.